Okay, last match of the league here. We're currently 3-1. So we're not going to unleash Dank Living with the 5-0, but we might open another one ring in the prize packs. And this hand obviously stinks. Okay, our opponent took 6 minutes to stop to keep a hand, so we're going to mulligan. That's playable. Opponent opens on Flooded Strand. Never seen that art before. Mono Horizons 3. And we're going to play this. This looks like a looks like we're Belcher. Opponent might make a strange decision here thinking we're Belcher. I think they're going to be pretty surprised when I cycle this Int. This is a good matchup as long as we can draw Subtlety. This is Mill. Sorry, not Subtlety. I always get the two flash creatures confused. As long as we draw an Endurance, this matchup gets pretty hard to lose. Gonna go get a blue-green land here. If they have the main board like Crypt Incursion, that can be a beating. But the thing is, like, as long as we draw any Endurances, it takes twice as long to mill us. And for every Endurance you draw, that's just another time they have to mill your entire deck, basically. That's how it's played out in all the matches I've played so far against Mill. I don't think I've lost a game. He Surgicals the Force of Negation out of my deck. To me, that indicates he's got more Surgicals. Should have got a white land there. That was a little bit of a mess up. Yeah, I want that on top. Well, he's going to mill it, so maybe that was a little sketch, but I mean, if I get it back with Shardless Agent, that's also pretty good. Ooh, no land for him. Do we get to draw the Endurance? Yes, we do. Okay, this game probably shouldn't be losable. And then he can have counters here. I don't really care. There's almost nothing he can do that I care about. I've got double green, I've got Endurance, I'm ready to plow. He's contemplating his whole life right now. Oh no, our opponent is new. He's got another Surgical for the Int. That's pretty strong, but it's still not going to be enough, in my humble opinion. He's got the Force, okay. But he had to use an extra card from his hand, 2 cards from his hand. And now, like, we can wait until our upkeep when our library has no cards in it. Probably don't want to do that because we could get countered. Okay. There's 2 Charlotteses and an Argent Plea in our deck, or in our graveyard. Man, if I talk this much trash about opponent's deck and then I still lose. Okay, if I draw an untapped land, I'm just going to cast Curator of Mysteries. All right. Yeah. Guess I'll keep that on top. What is this little icon? This yellow triangle on the Hedron Crab. I use this. The only thing that bad could happen if I cast this Curator Mister would be like if I get Thought Seized or something, and then he takes the Endurance. And then he's actually kind of close. Well, you know what? No. I'm just going to use Endurance, I think. Okay. I want my second Endurance. I'd feel really good if I had 2 Endurances. I don't feel good about that living in. Have I binned the... I've not binned Press the Enemy, so... There it is. Alright, now I'm going to cast Curator of Mystery. Not even a Thought Seize can kill me. I have 26 cards in my deck. And our final Endurance is still in our deck. We have 3 of them. I wonder what Mill players felt like when they read this card for the first time. Probably felt like Cascade players reading 3 Minutes of Fairy for the first time. When they printed that card, I stopped going to Friday Night Magic because it was a 30-minute drive each way. And if I played like more than one game against that card, I regretted the trip. So... we might have to fight through double counterspell to get these Endurances to resolve. So I'm going to pressure him as much as I can. I'd like to draw another green land. I'd also like to draw that. Okay, now we're super duper safe. I'm going to cast one now just to increase our clock. He'll probably counter this, but then if he counters with Drown in the Lock, that taps all of his mana. Yeah. So now he can't do anything. He could Surgical that Endurance. Although if he could have Surgical the Endurance, he should have done it on that end step. Now just to rub it in. Target myself. Yep, alright. I'm going to bring in these 2 fairies. Bring a Beseiju. I don't think I want ley lines. Bring in the Mysticals. Take out Titan Rex. Take out Commandeer. Take out Flare of Denial. And 2 subtleties, maybe 3 subtleties. He doesn't really have any good creatures. I'll bring in a Foundation Breaker for the last subtlety. His only creatures are those 2 crabs, so the subtleties besides just being attackers aren't very good. Well, this has no Endurances, but I'm going to keep. This is a good 7. No crab. It's a great start. He can Surgical that Ardent Plea if he wants. No black mana. We'll just plan on our first living and getting forced. Mill 4, okay. Alright, so he can go after the living end now. Fortunately, he didn't mill an endurance. With him doing nothing like this, I have to assume he has hate of some sort. Alright, force negation is not bad. I'm going to look to see if I can draw the one. Yes, there we go. Perfect. And I don't even think I need to go off here. I was talking about seeing if I could draw Mystical Dispute. Yes, I want Mystical Dispute. And in fact, if he attempts to cast some spell that I can Mystical Dispute, or if he attempts to cast something that would mill me, I'm going to save that Mystical Dispute with Waker of Waves. Field of Ruin, that's not bad. That does give me mana, though, if he doesn't use it at the right timing. I'm going to use Waker of Waves here. The Living End is already in our graveyard, so there's nothing in our graveyard worth protecting. And if I flash in Endurance, then my graveyard goes away. So okay, so here's something I could do. I'm just assuming he's going to Surgical the Living End. I can. If he does that, I can force pitch Endurance. You know what I mean. And then with my remaining mana, I can use Ent so that I'll have 2 creatures in my graveyard. I don't really think that's going to be enough, though. Like, a mill player that played no crabs and hasn't really done anything. He's probably got multiple pieces of instant speed hate there. Field of Ruin is a little bit annoying. I'm going to force cycle with that. Go get another white. I don't have any. A little bit unfortunate. I got all my basics out of my deck. Slows us down by a turn. Yeah, I don't care. I can force this Endurance through later. Okay. 13 cards. Okay. And then I'm going to go to his turn because I can pitch the Force Negation on his turn. Cast Endurance here. He'll probably go to counter this. I have a force for the first counter. I don't have a force for subsequent counters, but he only has 1 black mana. And I don't think he has enough mana to do the trick. But, okay, he does have... He still can... Yeah, Mystical. Okay. No. But he hasn't surgicaled yet, which means these endurances are still in my graveyard. No. So I can Sky Turtle one of these endurances back. And he can't counter that. He has to surgical. Endurance. That was the wrong land to leave up, but yep. And then we're going to force pitch the endurance before he can get another untap. Okay, back to 51 cards in our deck. We don't really have any hand to speak of anymore. So he can strip mine me here. Even better than strip mine, because he gets his land back. Hideous Laughter. Yeah, I mean, that's not the best card against Living End. We have a lot of expensive cards. Although, how many endurances did he hit? None. All right, that was lucky. I'm not going to try to build up to 7 lands and cast the Waker because we only have 4. There's a Shardless Agent. Play. Magic Online spinning around. And then what I'm going to do is, because there's no Shardlesses in my graveyard, I'm not scared of Surgical Extraction. So I'm going to wait till I have Mystical up. Although, I mean, he's got so many lands, Mystical might not matter anymore. But if he did anything on this turn, then maybe Mystical would have gotten him. We're a land short of Force Backup. But I have 37 cards in my deck. So I'm going to protect it. And he's not using this Field of Ruin for whatever reason. I think if I were him, I would have done it. He's waiting to see if he can draw Archive Trap, right? And if he draws Archive Trap, he'll go for it. Land here would be sick. That card has split second, so okay. The endurances are officially out of my deck. There's all of them, and I can't counter that. It has split second. But now the shields are slightly down for the Shardless Agent, especially if we draw land. We didn't draw land, but if he has an expensive counterspell, like a hard cast Force of Negation, we can get it with Mystical Dispute. Hard cast Force of Negation? Nope. Okay. Like, it almost doesn't even matter what creatures we have on our battlefield. As long as we have a creature and we're attacking him, that's all that matters, because eventually we'll kill him. We have 33 cards in our deck. If we untap, we have double Force of Negation. Okay, there goes the Living End. Honestly, that card doesn't matter at all. I think doing that is a mistake. Like, I think it would be better to try to bait out a Force of Negation, but he's running out of time. But, I mean, exiling the Living End doesn't help him. It doesn't stop him from running out of time. And I think now that we've untapped, we win the game. Yeah, we can't cast Force anymore, so. Okay, I do agree with that. This card being alive doesn't change the clock. We attack for 14 and then 14. So, whatever. And then if he ever whittles us down to one creature, for some reason, we can cast Ardent Play as a pump spell. So I'm in hard cast Force only mode. Alright, we did it. Let's open the chests. $25 play points. Well, see you later.